Yes, checking in live and direct. It's a phenomenal Friday. Another beautiful day, full of opportunities, if we so decide. And I'm deciding, yes, today is full of opportunities. Let's get to it, make the most of the day, make the most of the week, the year, make the most of the life. On this personal development journey and enjoying this human experience. It's been a rough week. Being hit up by the unexpected, being tested on the journey. So I'm here to talk about how do we stay true to our path when times are adverse. How do we stay true to the pathway and not get derailed? This is a huge question, and the answers to this question, no one has all of the answers to this question, and the answers to this question, the best answers will be based upon a case-by-case basis. However, what I can talk on is what I find to be valuable with regard to this, and that is coming back to knowing oneself. The more that we know oneself, one's pathway, one's journey, and we have structure in place and purpose and meaning behind what it is that we're actually doing, the more that we can fall back on this and stay on track. One thing that springs to mind with regard to meaning and purpose of our journey is once we define this to the extent where there's such leverage behind it, such magnitude behind our purpose and meaning, it's then tricky to step away from that, even when times are rough, even when times are very challenging. And I'm not saying that we can't come away from it momentarily, but it's hard to come away from it for too long, particularly so when we're talking about meaning behind our actions and purpose within our life that extends beyond just ourselves, extends to the bigger picture. When we're talking about a bigger picture, that can include others that are relying on us, to show up and to perform, to get it done, to act accordingly. They're relying on us. So to step away from that, when we're able to get back to it, that's something that's, if we're able to get to it, and that's our purpose and there's huge meaning behind it, that's something that then becomes, in time, almost unacceptable to step away from, because if we have such meaning behind it. And we talk about the bigger picture, we can be talking about legacy as well. What legacy is it that we're looking to secure? Morals, values can also come into play here. Can we afford to take our foot off the accelerator for too long? Can we afford to be out of action for too long? Is that then going to go against our morals, our values? It's an interesting one. Not all of these things necessarily would apply, but sometimes these things can come into play, and it just depends upon the situation. Another thing to keep in mind is, if we're going through that rough time, that hard time, is a simple thing that everything does change in time. So if we're going through the rough time, if we keep on going, eventually we will come out of that one way or another. But if we simply stay, then where are we going? So the simple moral of the story there is, if we simply keep going, then we will make it through. However that may look. Just keep going and never give up. Never give up. If we never give up, then truly we never lose. Because we're always in it, always showing up, always driving on. The analogy could be here if we're talking about driving. Imagine if we're driving along on a journey and our car breaks down and we're in a bad place where we don't want to be. We can either stay in that place or simply fix up and keep on driving on. Now in life, I know it's not that simple, but the analogy sometimes does simply come down to that, as to, right, we're in the bad place, and now we must fix up if we want to move on. We must fix up, otherwise we're going to stay in this bad place for perhaps longer than needs be. It's inevitable that there's going to be ups and downs. We're living in a world of polarities, so there's going to be ups and downs. But in those downs, in that adversity, we keep in mind that, we are going to get through, and also keep in mind as well, if you want to make the most of it even, that within the adversity often lies great opportunity. Then we can actually sometimes take something away from it. We can really sometimes take something away from it. And again, it's not a one size fits all. These are just things to keep in mind. Little things to keep in mind, and if there's just one little piece of information or one little perspective that you're able to share with those around you that can help people around these sort of situations, then step in and offer that help where appropriate, you know. Offer those different perspectives, because when we're going through it, often it's hard to take a look around and see that bigger picture. It's hard to often zoom out and see that this is just perhaps a moment in time which we must go through for reasons that often we have no idea as to. Sometimes later on it may make sense, sometimes not. Yes, sir. But on the flip side, if we're not going through a hard time at the moment, if times are good, things are going the way that we would like, not being hit by the adversity, then it's still important to be staying true to self and focusing on that purpose, that meaning, because that sets up that strength that has us best equipped for the times when are good and when times are adverse. So it's always equally as important with training for life, physically, training for life, mentally, spiritually. Why? I mean, often people ask, why bother training? Why bother looking into mind, body, spirit? Why bother? Well, this is the basis of being, in my opinion. It's the basis. It's to strengthen all aspects, mind, body, soul, never neglecting one for the other. And speaking of body and mind and soul, if we want to be shifting our emotional state, remember, put energy into motion. And what that means is, if we want to change our emotional state, if we get up, get moving, put energy into motion, then we can immediately switch up our emotional state in the moment, you know? Step outside for a walk, get out into nature, go and hit that workout, go for that bike ride, that hike, swimming, whatever it may be. And into that often we can step into an almost meditative state, that flow state if you will, where we're not really thinking too much of time and everything else that's going on, but we can master our emotions to a certain extent. So yeah man, step into action, get up early, step into action. Maybe it works out well, maybe not, but certainly worth a try, nothing to lose. Gonna take something from it, at least something, you know. We get up and moving, it's always gonna be, pretty much always gonna be good for the body. And we can get that emotional response as well in a favourable light. So yes sir, just a short walk and talk for today on the rest day here at the gym. Just getting in some steps, taking a rest day because simply I'll run out of time to be getting in a training session today, but so it should be a training session, a weights training session today. I run out of time, so just getting in these footsteps and move on the session till tomorrow. For the simple reason that I'd rather be stepping in, getting it done properly when the time is right, rather than rushing in and doing a half job now today. It's the right decision for this particular time. But anyway, wishing you a highly blessed weekend, a phenomenal Friday. We'll be checking in and again on here soon.